Okay, so we're on part 2 of a 4-part series. Can y'all do that?
Deuce. Two.
All right, and last week we talked about
Dating. Attraction.
Well, I'm going to do like a fast review. It's attraction, so if you missed it, go back and watch YouTube. It's like a 20-minute video. I know it's a long thing, but I think it's important that you understand that part. We'll go over it just over a second. And tonight we're going to talk about
Dating.
And then we're going to talk about sex next week. And then we're going to talk about marriage at the very, very end, okay? So, and we're specifically, what?
Why did you put sex before marriage?
Because, and I'm going to get into it next week, but it's because you are tempted before you're married, you're going to be tempted, possibly, to do that. So that's why it's before. It's not because you do it before. It's because you're going to fall into that temptation to do that if you're going to date people. So I want to talk about dating today and some ways to avoid that sort of thing. So Song of Solomon, it's basically a book that if you read through it, it chronologically looks at a couple's relationship. So like they get attracted to each other, they start dating each other, then they get married, and they get married in chapter 3, and it's 8 chapters long. So that means that there are, like some people, like you watch a movie and they get married and then what? It's like happily ever after and the movie's over, right? Well, when you get married, it's not happily ever after the movie's over. You got to start working at it. You got to work at marriage. So, and we'll get to that toward the end of the series. So last week we talked about attraction, and what question did we ask? Hey, you guys need to get off your phones, okay? See, 2 of you guys on your phones.
Put the phones in your pocket.
He needs a calculator to add. It's fine.
Put them away, please. All right? Because I really think this is important for you guys to hear and listen. If there's any series y'all listen to, this is an important one. Okay, so last week we talked about attraction, and we asked the question,
What's important? What's in a person?
what are you looking for? Remember, what are you looking for in a person? And the first thing we said that you notice, what is the first thing you notice when you're attracted to somebody?
Their character.
Their appearance.
Their appearance, right? When you see, hey, y'all put y'all's candy boxes away too. You look at how much money they have. Okay, that's pretty shallow, Josh.
So is looking at appearance before character. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So, anyways, typically you're going to look and recognize the physical attraction first, right? And that's not wrong, but that shouldn't be the only part of the equation, right? That shouldn't be the end of the equation. You have another part, and the other part of attraction is the character. And you want to make sure that if you're going to date, that you date the right kind of people. You don't just date however you want, right? You need to kind of pay attention to, just because they look nice on the outside, they could have some problems. So character is the inside, and how do you tell good character? You tell good character by the way they behave, by their reputation with friends, right? And by whether they obey authority or not. Right? If they don't obey authority, then they're probably not going to be the best people. So it goes back to the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Have y'all heard that one before? Don't judge a book by its cover. You guys need to write that down on your paper. Don't judge a book by its cover.
I do that quite often.
Okay? And I'm going to add a word. Don't only judge a book by its cover. I think that you can use the cover to a small extent, but you also need to look deeper into the book. So don't judge the book by its cover. And the definition of character, right? If you weren't here last week, character is who you are when no one is looking. Character is who you are when no one is looking. And it comes from the word, what does the word mean? To chisel.
Chisel.
Right? When you chisel out rock or whatever. And what happens when you chisel something? It leaves a permanent etch, right? Or etches a permanent marking. And technically you could probably get it out, but it's not easy to do. It's hard to get out. So character is inside of somebody, and it's not easily changed. It's not something that just changes overnight. It takes a long time to for a person to change their character if they have bad character. So just remember that. And Proverbs 31:30, we took this verse down last week. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. Right? What does that mean? Charm, deceptive, beauty is fleeting. It means that beauty, right? If somebody's pretty, they're not going to be pretty forever, right? They're going to be pretty, and then eventually that's going to fade. So if you get married because you think your wife's pretty, and then all of a sudden she's not pretty anymore, then what do? Okay? All right? It's a problem. So just know that beauty is fleeting. Beauty will go away, and charm is deceptive. But what is not fleeting, and what is not deceptive? A person who fears the Lord is what it says. A woman or a man who fears the Lord is to be praised. So, what is a date? Tell me what a date is. A date.
When you go,
What?
I think it'll make him better.
Major had something. What do you say? Something you see on a calendar.
when you go out to a fancy restaurant.
When you go out to a fancy restaurant.
And
You gotta break up by yourself. Get that. I'm taking you back.
Josh goes by
well, maybe
himself.
not a fancy
Okay,
restaurant.
here we go. Bring it back. Bring it back. What is a date? This is my definition of a date. A
Someone
date.
else going somewhere.
Yeah, a date is basically spending time with somebody. Okay, if you're spending time with somebody specifically because you kind of like them and you want to get to know them, that would be considered a date. Okay, and what are all kinds of magazines and websites and everything devoted to? Dating. The top 10, whatever. The top 10, whatever. Yeah.
Christian Mingle.
Okay, there's all kinds of like matchmaking dating sites.
Christian Mingle.
Yeah,
That's what I
Christian
said.
Mingle and non-Christian Mingle. I don't know what it is. Who knows? So, anyways, there's all kinds of dating sites, right? So that's what a date is. Basically, to date is spending time with somebody to try to get to know them. So, why do people date?
Because they're lonely.
We just talked about it, to get to know somebody, right? So here we go. We're going to look in the Bible, and we've got some verses up here, and Maddie's going to very nicely display them on the screen for us.
This is, yeah, what they get.
And
Click it!
go live.
Push the button.
Here we go. How beautiful you are, oh my darling.
Stop singing.
Oh my beautiful, your
Turn
eyes
on the T-Pain.
are doves.
Do it.
Huh?
Do it.
Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
What have I gotten into?
I don't know, man. You just open up Pandora's box. It's
Let me
amazing.
see if I can find it. Here we go. We'll try this one.
You gotta go back. He has to read it again.
How beautiful you are, my darling. Wow. Oh, how beautiful your eyes are,
You gotta put a beat on it.
doves.
Gotta click so he can read it.
Yeah, you gotta
I
click.
don't
on.
know my next verse. I don't know how to do
You don't
this.
have to do the beat.
You just
Just,
gotta read it.
just like,
Handsome
just sing
you
it.
are,
Yeah, there you go.
my lover. Oh, how charming, and our bed is verdant.
What does that mean?
Yeah. The beams of our house are cedars, our rafters are firs.
Pass me the guacamole.
That's the last one you have.
Pass me the guacamole.
Keep going.
Pass me the guacamole.
Amarillo, pass me the guacamole. I'm gonna turn this thing off.
Yes. This is amazing. I'm gonna go out and buy one of these.
I doubt it. Maybe. Okay, so I'm a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys.
I want to hear my voice.
Like a lily among thorns is my darling among the maidens. Like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my lover among the young men. Oh, like an apple tree. You guys are like apple trees. I didn't finish that verse.
I am going back.
Okay. And I delight to sit in his shade. What do you think that means? I delight to sit in his shade. They're spending time together, right? Right? And his fruit is sweet to my taste. And he has taken me to the banquet hall and his banner over me is love. So he brought him to the house, right? He brought her to his house or something, I don't know. And so they're spending time with you. Strengthen me with raisins. Refresh me with apples, for I am faint with love. I need that.
Why would anybody read this?
His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and by the does of the field. Do not arouse love until it so desires.
You didn't say awaken.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay, so that's a pretty crazy passage, and you read that and you're like, what in the world is going on here, right? But basically what it's talking about is
love.
they are spending time together. She is enjoying being in his shade, and he's got her, brings her to his banquet hall, and they're just spending time together, right? So that is kind of like the date. So this part of the book essentially talks about the couple is attracted to one another, right? And then that moves into these two are becoming an item.
Love.
Right? Love. They're becoming an item. So they have begun dating, and the couple is spending time with each other at their homes, outside in the park. Remember the firs and cedar things? Talking about how they're holding hands outside and walking, and yeah, I know. And they're just sitting around getting to know each other.
I
So
want to ask for your opinion.
in relationship, there's this movement from attraction. So you're attracted to someone, and then you kind of start dating them, right? So the first step, what is the first step to date somebody?
Ask them out.
Yeah, you gotta ask them out.
The worst part of the whole thing.
The worst part, are they gonna say yes or no? Oh my God.
Depends on who you are.
I remember,
Yeah, depends on who's asking it, like Parker.
yes, I remember when I was 7 years old, and I wrote,
Whoa.
was it, no, hang on.
What a player.
10 years old, 9, 10.
Doesn't matter.
Anyways,
Hey,
I wrote a note to a girl that I knew she sat in this place. Like we traveled to different homerooms or different like portables. Do you guys know what a portable is?
dude, we use portables.
We would travel to different portables, and everybody had a homeroom portable. And this girl, I thought that this was her desk in the homeroom. And after this portable, we were going to our homerooms. So I thought, I'm gonna write her a note. And I wrote her one of those, do you like me or do you love me, something, check yes or no, right? And I left it in my chair, and I left, and I never heard back from her.
Dude, it's been like... Probably some big
It's
dude.
sad.
He's like, hey, what's this? Whoa.
Actually, I think somebody else got the note and gave it to her, so it was kind of embarrassing, but she never gave it back, and she never answered me.
How many times do you have to ask Missy out before she'd go out with him?
I didn't, well, I'm going to get to that, because that's the next thing I'm talking about. So, I'm going to get to it just in a second. Okay, so girls, you need to save that step for guys, okay? I know some girls ask other guys out.
No.
Don't do that.
Did they propose to?
Don't do it, okay? Girls don't ask guys,
I'll leave to your
period.
girls. Ask like
Yeah.
guys to marry you.
That's what that movie's about, but no. Okay, we're not, girls don't ask guys. You guys need to wait for you girls need to wait for the guys to ask you. That's important. I think that's important. Make the guys do the work. Make the guys call you.
Nah,
Don't call them.
if
Make
the
them
girl likes
call
you so
you.
much she's gonna ask you out, take it.
Yeah, no. No. Let them call you.
What if the guy
Okay,
got the gun?
that's
when he
my
got
tip. Okay, so Parker and Missy's first date. Okay, I don't remember. It wasn't like I was like, Missy, will you go out with me? It was like, do you want to go to Borders? Yeah.
It was
Like-
McDonald's, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. Borders, it was worse. No.
Missy, do you
We
want
went
to
to
go
Borders
Burger King with
bookstore,
me?
right? And so we're in Borders bookstore. Yeah. You never been to Borders? Well, I
You
don't
go to Barnes and Noble with me, Missy?
It's like Barnes and Noble. So we're at Borders, and we're looking through. Have you ever looked through the Guinness Book of World Records?
Yeah.
It's got all kinds of like crazy stuff in it. So like we're sitting down and we're looking through all these pictures, and show my picture of this little dog. See this little dog? Oh, this little dog is the smallest dog in the working class in the world. And there was a picture of this dog in a little cup, like, and this dog's head was sticking out of the cup. And I started laughing so hard. So like we're in this laughing mood. So we're all laughing, and then I start farting. So I'm laughing and like, oh, great. And she hears it, and she's like, gotta be kidding me. So then she's laughing harder. You have to ask her about the fart date, okay? The first date was the fart date. Huh?
Did she start farting too? Is it one of
I
those
don't
days?
think so. No, she didn't fart
I was
then.
like, please tell me it's not.
I would have probably passed out because her gas is bad. But she's not here, so I can say that. So, yeah, I was farting, and it was crazy. So, we're gonna do a dating checkup for your life, okay? And I've got a PowerPoint here. Go through this PowerPoint. Dating checkup.
Check.
All right, here we go. Dating camps. We're gonna see what camp you're in. The first camp. There's 7 of them. Camp I Wish. You don't have a date, but you wish you did.
That's the,
Camp I Wish.
That's the forever.
I was in that one for a while. Camp Who Cares? You don't date and you don't really care. I was in that one for a while too. Camp This Rocks. I don't think I was really ever in this one, but you really enjoy dating and you wonder why everyone else doesn't. And dating camp number 4. And Camp Help. You're stuck in a bad relationship and you can't get out. You're in that one, man?
Don't you say anything. Don't ruin it.
Oh. No. Camp Never Again. You just had your little heart squashed, heartbroken, and you're never going to do it again. Camp Hanging Out. You don't really date. You just hang out. And Camp Curious. You're too young, but you're curious. All right.
Everyone over here is older than you, right?
I don't know. So, I don't know what camp you're in. You can write it down if you want. Okay, here we go. This is where you're going to use that little thingamajig that I passed out. If you messed yours up, I've got some more.
Already did.
But I don't have that many more.
my
So,
score's too
Major, come up here and get another one because yours was messed up. Dude, somebody took them all. Where did I put
I only
them?
have
Here
40
we
out
go.
of 50.
Here we go. Major needs another one. He messed his up.
I got 40.3.
I got 36.
Okay, has everybody done it already?
Stop rolling.
Okay, so question number 1.
What are you doing?
Okay, question number 1. I carefully choose who I go out with, and I don't date just anybody. Hey, y'all listen up. Do you guys date just anybody?
No.
Okay, if you date just anybody, you would be a 1, and if you carefully choose, you would be a 5. Okay, question number 2. I have decided beforehand what I will and won't do on a date. This is extremely important. Deciding beforehand is like probably the most important thing you can do, because if you don't have boundaries and you get in a situation where you haven't set yourself boundaries, you're in trouble. You need to set boundaries. You need to know what you will and won't do. Like, this is the line, period. If you cross this line, I'm leaving. Okay, so question number 2. Question number 3. My relationships with the opposite sex are based upon genuine friendships. Okay, not just the physical side of things. Like, you're actually kind of friends with this person. You're not just all googie over the way they look. Googie, that's a word. I just made that word up. Googie. Okay, question number 4. I feel good about the decisions I'm making when it comes to dating and sex. You do? 5. You don't? 1. Question number 5. My romantic relationships are healthy. 1 is no, they're not, and 5 is yes, they are. Some people get stuck in relationships where like they're crying all the time and they're heartbroken and this and that. If you're in one of those relationships, you need to get out. Okay, that's stupid. Okay, my romantic relationships are healthy. Everybody that I date is a friend and we're good friends. So, okay, question number 6. I'm well informed about STDs, pregnancy, sexually transmitted disease, pregnancy, and the emotional risks of having sex before marriage. Are you guys aware of that stuff? Have y'all done any of that at school? Like, they talk to you about stuff that you can contract that's not good, okay? So, if you're well informed, you're a 5. If you're not well informed, you're a 1. Okay, question number 7. My life is not centered on a boyfriend or girlfriend. There are some people that get their lives centered on a boy or centered on a girl. They're the most annoying people in the world. Because they are centered for like 2 months, and it's just annoying. And then they're brokenhearted. It's ridiculous. So, don't ever center your life on a boy or a girl, okay? You do center your life on a boy or a girl, it's a 1. You don't, it's a 5. It's a 3. Question number 8. You're crazy, man. I have the courage to say no to things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes is 5. No, you don't is 1. What if it's in the middle? Then it's a 3. Oh my goodness. Okay, question number 9. I treat my body with respect.
You don't do that.
That's important. Ooh.
Yeah.
You do, it's a 5. You don't, it's a 1. And last question number 9.
Work out.
Oh, yeah, it would be question number 10. I'm waiting until I'm married before having sex. That is an important decision. And if you are waiting, it's a 5. And if you're not waiting, it's a 1.
What if it's in the middle?
And
Hey, Josh asked if what you put, if you already done it.
all right, so here we go.
Hey,
Josh
Parker,
wants to know.
Josh wants to know where babies come from.
The mama's
We'll
story.
talk about that next week. All right. Next question. Okay, total score. Total up your score. If your score is between 40 and 50, you're on the high road.
I'm on the high road.
That is where you want to be. If you're 30 to 39, you're straddling the fence.
Woo!
And if you're 0 to 29, you're on the low road.
How do you score how do you score 0 on
That's
something
true.
that only
I'll put 0. Okay, anyway, so here we go. It would have been 10.
it has to be
Yeah, hey, the minimum is
10
10.
to 20.
I know. I put 10. You just couldn't see the 1. Okay, 2 dating styles. Here are the 2 dating styles. Intelligent dating. You can also call that smart dating. And brainless dating.
High road, low road.
Boneheads.
Where's
Okay?
the straddling?
The intelligent dating is the high road, and the brainless dating is the low road. Okay? Hopefully you guys are writing this down, because this stuff is good.
I'm
Intelligent dating, brainless dating, high road, low road. Okay, here we go. We're moving on. First dating type is intelligent dating. Okay, this is what you want to be. You want to be somebody that dates people smartly. Smartly a word? If Googie's a word, smart's a word. Smartly's a word. Okay, intelligent dating is dating successfully. Okay, you're being selective about who you date. You're not just going out with whoever. Okay, you're hanging out and having fun. You're keeping your standards. Okay, the standards you have, you're keeping them with these people that you're dating, and not allowing a boyfriend or a girlfriend to dictate your life. You're not centering your life around them. Okay. So if you're doing those things, that is intelligent dating, and you are on the high road, and you need to keep it up. All right? Second dating type is brainless dating. And dating is dating ineffectively, dating anyone, basically. You don't really care who it is. You're just dating people. Becoming centered on your boyfriend or girlfriend. Do you have any friends that, like, they can't, like, live without somebody hanging on their shoulder or something? Oh, my goodness. Pray for them. Okay, so don't become centered on your boyfriend or girlfriend, all right? Some people think they have to have a boyfriend or girlfriend every day. Okay, that's not healthy. They need to get a job or something. Okay.
What if they do have a job?
What their job is?
They need to move out. They need to move out and start making their own money.
So that they can go live together? That's not healthy.
No, they wouldn't be able to live together because they're not going to be able to move out.
But if he's
I'm
paying
so
for it.
confused right now.
Yeah,
Dude,
they're
we're
paying
not
for
talking
the
about this. Okay, that's
No,
all
we're
brainless.
talking about this.
That's all brainless stuff. So doing what everyone else seems to be doing. Everybody else is doing it. What? Dude, we're talking about Bobby next week. He is on the low road.
That's not
He chose the
traveling.
low road for a while.
He
That was
traveling
not
on the
good.
fence, and then he went off to the gravel.
Oh gosh. Okay, here we go. Next slide.
Take the low ditch.
He took too many people with him.
Come on, Maddie. Next slide.
Which
man.
slide is it?
The next one. The next one down.
Mom has
Okay, is that it?
Check.
That was the dating checkup. Okay, so we went through the dating checkup. We talked about which camp you could possibly be in, did the total scores, did the high load and low load, and basically that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. But I want to expand a little bit on a couple of things. Okay, you can go on a date, right, with somebody, and then you can date somebody, which means like you're dating. What does dating mean?
Multiple dates.
Multiple dates, right? And then serious dating. What's serious dating?
How about getting married?
Okay, where you change your Facebook. Serious dating is like where you.
It's not Facebook.
It's over a long period of time. Yeah. Well, some people are not like Facebook official. Oh, anyway. So
There it is.
I want to talk about the word courtship. Okay. Somebody already said it. Courtship. What does the word courtship mean?
Hey, is that the one where the parents set up who they go out with?
No, that is arranged marriage. Okay. Courtship is this. Courtship is something that we don't really talk about anymore. But a courtship is when it's more of a formal thing, and it typically happens before you're going to get married. Okay. And this is an Old Testament thing, something that they did like Shakespeare time. I mean, it's not something that people don't do, and I think it's something that we should do. But courtship is something that you would ask, the father of the person that you're dating, which I think that should be required. If you're going to ask somebody out, you need to talk to their parents too. Okay, you don't just need to, I'm going to ask out this person or whatever. Okay, like if you're going to seriously date somebody, then that's what you need to do. But if you're just going to go and get to know somebody, I don't think you necessarily have to do that. So anyways, courtship is a period of time in a couple's relationship which precedes engagement and marriage, right? And it's basically a time where you get to know, you're really trying to get to know this other person because you really think that this person is somebody that you're going to marry. And one day, probably most of you or all of you will be at a time in your life, whether it's real soon or later. I remember I had a girl in our youth group. I've never dated. I don't need any of this information. I'm never going to date. Da 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 da. You know what happened? The first thing she did when she got to college.
Who are you talking about now?
I'm not telling you who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
The very first thing she did. She told me that all her youth group years. I'm not going to date. Very first thing that she did when she got to college, she started dating. Okay, and do I know who? Yeah, I met the person. But anyway, the point is.
Do we know the person?
Yeah, you would know the person. But the point is this. The point is this. Just because you're not dating anybody right now doesn't mean that you need to go to sleep right now, because you're going to date somebody eventually. And you might think right now you're never going to date nobody and yada, yada, yada. But you'll see, right when you get into college, you're gonna be faced with some decisions to make. And a lot of you guys have a lot of time before you get there. And some of you guys are going to be faced with decisions before you maybe even get to high school or while you're in high school. But you need to be smart. So I don't think this is typically what I tell teenagers. I just tell them, don't date. Okay, just don't date. I don't think it's a smart thing. I think that it's important for you guys to go with the opposite sex. So like if you have some girls that you like, if you have some guys that you like, girls, go with them and hang out with them. But I don't necessarily think dating is a good thing. Why would dating not be a good thing? Yeah, I mean, you're going to get your heart broken, that's for sure. You probably will. But dating, I just think dating, one, it costs money if you're a guy. It's going to cost you money. Okay, you don't want to have to waste your money. Okay, it costs money. All right. The second thing is you're going to get hurt. Most likely you're going to get hurt. And the third thing about dating is you could possibly make a really bad decision in your life that would change the rest of your life. And you don't want to make that bad decision. Okay? But I think it's important. I do think it's important to hang out with people and get to know them. So, when are you guys going to be ready to get married? After college.
After during.
Huh? After what?
Never mind.
You don't know.
After ever?
after ever. Okay, there's going to be a point, and some people aren't ever ready to get married. Okay, you need to prepare yourself to get married. Some people, their lifestyle stinks, and they should probably never ever get married because they'll never be able to live with somebody, but they do anyway, and then they need to be a bachelor for the rest of their life. Paul was a bachelor his entire life. He said, forget girls, man. I can live without them. But my thinking is this, that if you're going to date somebody, why are you going to date them? When you date them because you like them, but you also, because I want to get married. That's why. So my point tonight is that if you're going to date people, if you're going to do that, do it when you're ready to get married, because that's going to be when it's the most important. But so, anyways, that's just what I say. I just say don't date anybody. Be friends with as many girls or as many guys as you can. Get to know them. Get to know what you like about them. Get to know what you don't like about them. Huh? Don't be too friendly to the guy. Yeah. And if you're a guy, don't be too friendly to the girls if you're a guy. I think it's important. I think so. Anyways, that's my thing on dating. All right, date smart if you're gonna do it. If you ever get put in a bad situation, get out of it. Don't worry about hurting somebody else's feelings. If it's not good for you, you need to get out of it. So, anyways, did anybody learn something? No? Okay. You farted on your first day. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say. Yeah, I did fart on my first day. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and you need to write it in your booklet. And this is it. The first thing you wrote in your booklet, what was it? Don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, don't only judge a book by its cover, right? And the second thing you write is the people you date are the people. Everybody finish it. The people you date are the people you marry. Alright? The people you date are the people you marry. No, but that's the type of person you're going to marry. So, if you're dating crazy people, guess what? You're going to have a crazy life, probably. You must have dated a lot of crazy people before. So, yeah, I know. What?
My dad always says, don't date somebody you would marry.
That's right. Don't date somebody you wouldn't marry. That's a good variation on that same thing. The people you date are the people you marry. Don't date somebody that you wouldn't marry. All right, let me pray for us, and I've wasted all of our time.
Hot potato.
We can play hot potato for sure. All right, God, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you for these students. I just pray for each one of them, Lord, that I know we're all interested in relationships and dating, and one day we'll probably all be married, Lord. And I just pray for each student here that you'll help them to find the right person to date, the right people to date, Lord, and that you'll protect them, help them to make the right decisions. We love you. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
One day we'll probably all be married.
Okay, you guys bring up your notebooks if you don't want them, and I'll hold them on to them till next week.
Yeah, we have to sit down.
I think we should play hot potato standing up.